Welcome to the Commercial Gas Engineer channel. This is a continuation, part 4 of my first sites as a commercial gas engineer. I should really call it Confessions of a Commercial Gas Engineer, as there's a few things I did when I first started out, which I'm showing in these videos. So in this particular video here, I was carrying out work at a site, some servicing, but I recall that there were problems with the flues. They started corroding. Here it is. So the air intake for these boilers had started corroding, so I had to go to the unsafe situation and categorize the boilers accordingly. It's quite difficult when you're a commercial engineer, because even though you're still going by the same rules of unsafe situations, you don't know how things are done, how procedures are done, if there's some slack cut here or there or things like that. But nonetheless, anyway, I went by the letter of the law and categorized these boilers accordingly. I'm not sure if it's because there was too much white showing on these boilers, but it didn't seem like there was much. But nonetheless, they decided to corrode anyway. They were Ideal Mexicos, and this, I believe, is the inside of the Ideal Mexico. So whilst carrying out servicing, and this is a look down inside. Yeah, I believe I dropped a nut or a bolt at the back of the unit and I was looking for it. Yep, so I think what happened is I got my warning notices out. I think I contacted my supervisor or manager and let them know that I was going to shut the boiler down or something to that effect. Okay, in one of my previous videos, if you saw them, you would have may have seen a valve like this. With this particular valve, sometimes in one of my videos, I took the Siemens actuator off and put a pipe to push the valve down. The correct way of doing this is unscrewing the screws on it, taking off the silver cap, and then on a lot of these, not just this model, a lot of different type of actuators, you can use the silver knob to screw the valve right down manually. Once you take off the case, you can and use the silver knob afterwards, silver control dial, and then shut off the valve down, wind it down. Yeah, you can do that on a lot of these valves. You're probably aware of that already. If you are, then apologies for telling you again. Okay, I remember this particular call out. I remember going to this place. I can't remember if it was a hospital or something like that, or next to a hospital. I remember it being coming across these hovel boilers and not realizing that where the reset button was underneath it. It took me quite a while to find. I think the reset button is somewhere hidden anyway, underneath some part of here, and I didn't realize that that's where it was, and it took me quite a while. I was checking a lot of different things, the pressure and all sorts, to try and get this boiler back on. And then quite a while later, I found the reset button underneath there, because I think I hard reset it. I did all sorts to try and get the system on, and just was checking the Billy basics. And then in the end, yep, the reset button was underneath one of these flaps. In this particular plant room, I think I was changing a freeway valve. So this looks like, I think I had to really take out a lot of pipe work back. So I think I had to remove pumps, remove certain things just to get the leverage, the clearance on the pipe in order to get the freeway pipe in. This is it from another angle. It's a bit annoying sometimes when you have to disconnect farther and further and further up the line in order to input the freeway valve. This was it when it was done. I think I managed to get it in. And this was the old freeway valve on the floor. I think here I was changing some Magna pumps. Yes, Grumfus Magna pumps. I believe this is the old pump in situ. And this is it halfway through, changing the pump. In this particular job, was getting ready to transfer some pipe work in order to do a lot of pipe work on a roof. In the end, I didn't get to take part in this job, which was a touch, because to be honest, I don't think I really wanted to. And then it had to be sort of slided up onto the roof from here to another colleague. Yep. There was my colleague up there, and I was passing the pipe work to him. This was the state of the roof. There was a few dead pigeons underneath pipes and stuff, and local authority or somebody was meant to move them. So there was a lot of dead pigeons there. So unfortunately, didn't get to take part in that job. Not sure what happened on this job, but the boiler looked like it was in quite a state. It looked like it was falling apart, or the case or something of that effect. I was doing some work on a radiator in a commercial building, and I had to remove the radiator. Not sure exactly why I was removing it. So this was, I believe I was here changing the radiator valves on this particular radiator. In this particular site, I'm not sure what I was doing, but here's a few pictures. Got a few boilers here. Looks as though I can see some ventilation now. I'm not sure if this was the mechanical ventilation. And here we have it here again. Possibly there was a problem with the mechanical ventilation and I was flagging it up, no interlock or something of that nature. In this particular plant room, I recall there being problems with these flues on these valents. I think that they had to be overhauled. I think the work was carried out and they were done, but I recall there being problems with these flues. And this looked like a valve that was just leaking. And I was taking down the DN numbers, the diameter nominal number 80 and the pressure nominal 6. This looked like a hot water cylinder in a domestic property but on a commercial system. Okay, I was carrying out some work. Looked like it was on some Ideal boilers. So yep, here's the boilers, Ideal Concords. And I was here checking the burner pressure. I had a hoover out, possibly I was using that to hoover down the burners. Ideal Concord CXS. Okay, looks like it's got one gas valve, and that's the gas valve. These look like the probes. There's some other boilers on this site that look like they needed servicing. Looks like I had a problem with a HIU unit coming out at 31 Celsius. Then after carrying out some repair work, I managed to get it up to 52, then 57. Not sure what I did on this unit to get it up. Well, maybe I made an adjustment on one of the valves, one of these actuators, or cleaned that strainer, but somehow I managed to fix it. On this particular gas valve, it looked like there was a leak. In the end, I don't think that I could repair this leak. I tried on the call out, but then in the end, I think I had to isolate it and then cap the meter. So this particular site, I think I may have shown you a video of it before in a previous recordings. And I was there having a look at the pumps to see which ones were running and so on. Managed to get up high on the ladder. There was some sort of, maybe there was a problem with an actuator, but I didn't get to the bottom of this problem. I did not. I was trying to find where the circulation issue was. There was some low temp, there was full bar pressure in the system. I don't know, the pump's running. Pressure on the pump looked quite low. It was on, but from what I can see here now, looking back, it looks as though the pressure on the pump looked like it was far too low. So maybe that was the issue. Maybe I just needed to turn up the pressure on the pump or switch the pumps over. But I can't recall why I couldn't get to the bottom of this problem, getting the circulation right, because the boilers were overheating quickly. Needed some technical support on this one. Yeah, this was in early 2019. And sometimes you wish you could go back in time and go and help your less experienced self in a job which you didn't have much experience on. But nobody did come along and give me any technical support or any help. But it would have been nice. I wish I could go back and help myself now. Can't recall what I was at this site for, but it looks like they sent me here to change a PCV. Okay, I'm not too sure what I'm looking at here on this particular unit. Maybe you've seen this unit before. Do you remember this particular site? The pressure vessel was so big, and I remember this was my first time coming across the pressure vessel needing draining and topping up, and I didn't realize at the time that the best method for topping these up, or repressurizing them should I say, was by using a compressor. On this particular site was a big house in London, and sort of like I had to drain down the whole building, or all the flats connected, in order to change a radiator in this person's house. I think they were complaining, and I managed to get it done fairly quickly. I remember there was another engineer on site, but he went about his business and came back later, and I told him to just leave it with me, and managed to get this one done fairly quickly. It was one house once, but then it's some nice flats in London. Looks like I was carrying out some servicing on this site on a Valent. Ooh, look at the condition of that. It's cleaning up. And also the condensate trap was needing a washout. And in this one there was a pump. One of the pumps was leaking, I think from the seals, and at the time I didn't really have much experience with these pumps. One pump was redundant and the other one was just leaking from the seals, but send me there now and I probably would have swapped parts from one to the other to get it going. Pull-in pumps Ltd. Okay, thank you for joining me. Please leave comments in the section below. Until next time, bye bye bye.